Hi students, welcome to Unacademy. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube students. I hope you all are doing great, safe and sound and in good health. Hi Aditi, very good evening beta. I'm good. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Okay, so let's begin. Today we're going to do an entire revision one shot like which we left in the previous class. Uh, I think we started with the first unit, and we did definitely do the second unit in the class yesterday also. But we would be continuing in there. In case you have any questions, please make sure that you feel free to ask me. Also, like it's already there on the screen, my referral code is Urmi Live, and if you are planning to take a subscription, uh, if you use Urmi Live, that's URMILIVE, you get a straight 10% discount on your joining, okay, for any subscription you take, on any subscription you take. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Professor Urmi Chakravorty. I'm your educator. I'm the plus educator for sociology and psychology. There's a little about me. Most of you know me because you attend my classes in plus. For anyone who has not attended any of them or is watching the video for the first time or probably watching for the second time in the humanities, please make sure that you can go ahead and watch the special sessions. And if you like them, I would request you to take up subscription, as we have started with few new batches from the 1st of October for class 11th and 12th both. All right. Very good evening, Nikhil. I hope you're doing good, beta. Very good evening. As I told you that we have started with few new batches. So the 1st of October, and we have a batch. It's Anvesha Parashar. Okay, Anvesha comes with definitely new names every time. Hi Anvesha. I hope you're doing great, beta. Okay. We have this batch from the 1st of October till the 25th of December. And as you can see on the screen, right from geography to sociology and English, economics, history, pol science, we have so many teachers and educators who are the best from the industry. And the timings of this plus classes are already mentioned below on your screen. Okay, you can see sociology. We have the classes from Monday to Friday, which I am taking from exactly 8:45 to 9:45. Sorry, for not 9:45. This is for class 12. Also, we have for class 11th. Okay, we have batches in Hindi also for English, economics, pol science, and history. I hope very soon you will have a batch for social also in Hindi. Okay, For class 12th, as I told you, that there are different educators, and the batch duration is, of course, 3 months. That is going to help you to score really well and good marks in your final examinations. There's one favorite thing of mine which is recently added, that Unacademy comes up with its creative corner, that you can learn new skills every new week. All right, this is one thing. Uh, right from Vedic maths to poetry, doodling, public speaking, robotics, mnemonics, or you can also say debating, etc. All of this, and how you can get it, you can just take a plus subscription, and you can learn these recorded courses from the top creative experts. You can also have a magic show, doodle your comics, you can, build your robots, etc. You can learn how to more money and make more money, etc. So all these things are available on the platform. You can go ahead and have a look. Okay, today we are going to revise more from the perspective of the previous slide which we have taken. Okay, let me tell you that we had already done a few slides. Okay. um, so let me just quickly, yeah, let me just take you back to the place we, yes, last time stopped. Okay, we did do the terms and concepts in yesterday's class, but for anybody who is still not aware of this chapter, we would be doing this unit one more time in the special class, so you can join. All right. Today I would be starting and beginning with, of course, the part of understanding social institutions, which I'm sure that last time also we had discussed, that why we are revising it is because most of you have your exams going on, and many of you will have your exams. So let's quickly start with understanding social institutions. What exactly is do you mean by the term social institutions? Okay, social institutions can be family, school, uh, your relationship, it can be politics, it can be religion, it can be many other things which are a part and parcel. Okay, so each one of us has a status or a role to play in our society. Okay, but these are not simply as we as individuals choose. Okay, they are not like the roles of a film actor may opt or not to do. Okay, why do they say this? Because there are some sort of constraints and controls, and you can be punished or you can be even rewarded, like you can be even acknowledged. Why? Because imagine I like something, so I appreciate a student. Okay, that's a kind of an acknowledgement, it's a kind of a reward which I give. Now, they could be macro social institutions or micro. Now, when I say macro, please remember macro is on a bigger scale, okay? But when we say micro, micro is usually on a small scale. It's kind of a close knit scale. Here in this chapter, we are introduced to social institutions and also to how sociology or social anthropology studies them. Okay, the human behavior or the thoughts of human processing in society or around us. This chapter puts forth a very brief idea about some of the central areas which are important as social institutions and are located namely as family, marriage, politics, economics, it can be education, it can be school, it can be marriage, it can be kinship, etc. You can see all of them are given here. Okay, we would be discussing this in brief, but always remember, when we speak about family or when we speak about kinship or marriage, they all come in a sector which is a close knit sector with the people who are belonging close to you. But on the other hand, when we speak about school, college, or when we speak about a hospital or in a movie theater, that comes in a larger scale. What do you mean by larger scale? Because that comes in a place where it is not limited to your family, but it is in a broader angle or a prospect. Okay, so in the broadest sense, an institution is something that works according to rules established or at least acknowledged by law or custom. Okay, and whose regular and continuous operation cannot be understood without taking those rules into account. Now, why they are saying this? See, institutions impose constraints on the individuals. Okay, there will be different laws which we have to follow. This you have understood even in the previous chapter, terms and concepts also it is there. Even in the first chapter, society and sociology, it is mentioning in both the books. There are laws and rules and regulation in a society which we have to follow. They also provide him or her with opportunities. An institution can be viewed as an end in itself. Okay. Indeed, people have viewed family, religion, state, or even education as an end in itself. Now, why? Because you have to be decisive. You have to decide which of this is of what limitation to you or the people around you. Okay, it can be completely in your hands to decide whether you are a part of it or why you do not want to be a part of it. Okay, so you have to be decisive enough. Sometimes you can say that, okay, this has an end in itself. You don't want to continue further. You do not want to believe in religion. You do not want to pursue your education. So that is how you have to be decisive when it comes about the opportunities. Now, we have already seen that our there are conflicting and different understandings of concepts. Now, conflicting, why? Because of course conflict is something which we call is the difference of opinion. We can also say that thoughts, or we can also say that it, yes, very well can be also called as a fight as in a verbal fight, okay, where you're differing in different type of thinking. Maybe I say yellow and you say red. Maybe you say black and I say blue. They can be conflicting, okay, and different understandings of concept within sociology. Now, why different concepts? Imagine, for me, I think that western culture is really good and I can adapt to it. For you, Western concept is a secondary option, but you will prefer your Indian culture. Okay. Now, this can be a difference of our opinion. It can be basically called as a conflict, okay, between each other. We have also been introduced to the functionalist and conflict perspective and seen how differently they saw the same thing. For instance, stratification. Now, stratification is the model. I again and again tell you, when you remember stratification, you have to understand it is about social classes, okay, or the social control. Please remember, functionalist approach and conflict approach. Conflict is always which has to do with the Karl Marx theory. Functionalist is always have to do with the Emily Durkheim theory. Now, how and why, we have already studied this in the second chapter, and I'm hoping that you guys remember it. Okay, so is it clear till this slide, till the third slide? Any questions till here? Is this one clear, beta, all of you? So this is a revision. I would be doing this again on the plus class, don't worry, but this is for the people who already have their exams, and this will help them because the previous two we have already done. So this is going to help them. That's why I'm taking the revision of part 2 today. Is this clear? Can we move ahead? Just give me a yes, no. Okay, yes, ma'am. All right. Okay, all right. Thank you. I was yawning, sorry. Um, like today, I'm a little down. I wasn't keeping well. I hope that I'm okay till the evening. So, as you can see, I'm low on energy today, but of course, revision was important, so I didn't cancel the class. Yeah, all right. Okay, so not surprisingly, therefore, there are different forms of understanding of social institutions as well. Now, when I say different forms, okay, of social institutions, it can be again, there are two types which we have basically discussed. And if you remember, it can be formal, informal types of understanding institutions. How we are going to study further, okay? What basically is the functionalist view? Functionist view basically understands the social institution as a complex set of norms, okay, social norms, belief, and values and rule. Now, again, norms and belief here again comes about the rules and regulation which we all follow in a family, okay, or we follow in a society, and it can vary from one to another, okay. Uh, Relationship that arise in response to the needs of the society. Now, in functionalist view, Karl Marx basically wanted to explain that how institutions exist to satisfy social needs. Okay, it can be in terms of interaction, in terms of responsibility, in terms of roles, etc. So, according to this, we find informal and formal social institutions in the society. Please remember that these are the two forms which you have to remember in terms of social institutions. These are the two different forms. Okay. Institutions such as family and religion are basically the example of informal social institutions. Why? Family and religion can be definitely coming in informal. Why? Because it is on a different scale. Whereas law and in social institutions, while law and formal education, okay, are formal social institutions. So please remember, when it is formal, okay, it has to be also understood as education. Okay. Now, you can also say informal will refer to family. Okay, that is one other aspect which we all have discussed in the previous slides. So, what is a functionalist view? It understands the social institution as a complex set of social norms and belief, value, roles, relationship that arise in response to the needs of the society. Social institutions, they also exist to satisfy needs which we have apparently in terms of others. Okay, now in this we also understand that law or education can be part of formal institutions. All right. Conflicting and different understanding of the concepts of sociology. Now, kinship is one of them. But when we speak about the term conflict, I already told you it can be difference of opinion. It can be probably thought which is not matching. It can be politically, it can be logically, illogically, anything. All right. Okay. So I see Anvesha is asking, "Kya ho gaya, ma'am?" Nothing, Anvesha. Simply, I'm just a little tired, maybe a little exerted because कल back to back classes थे. उसके बाद मैं थोड़ा late night I was awake doing something, so few things planning and all. So I think maybe because my body is pretty tired. But don't worry, after this class is over, I'll take few some time of rest and I'll be good and back properly on the plus class in the night. Do not worry. Thanks for asking, beta. Okay. So conflict is difference of opinion. Conflicts is different of views. All right. Okay. One. Conflict view holds, okay, that all the individuals are not placed equally in society. And once again, conflict holds that all the individuals are not placed equally in society. All institutions, whether familial, religious, political, economic, legal, or educational, will operate in the interest of the dominant sections of society, be it be class, caste, tribe, or gender. And believe me, again and again, now this are not placed equally. This you have to remember because this is very important for you to understand that it is not placed equally. Okay, the dominant social sections not only dominates political and economic institutions but also ensures that the ruling class ideas become the ruling ideas of a society. Okay, this is very different from the idea that there are general needs of a society. First, how? Now you will say, ma'am, but how? So as you go about reading this chapter in social institutions, when we move ahead one by one, you will also see that how, whether you can think of examples to show how social institutions constrain and also offer opportunities to individuals, individuals as in people around us. Okay, it can be society, it can be someone from your school, it can be someone from your family. Okay, it can vary. Thanks, Anvesha. Okay, now notice whether they impact different sections of society unequally. For instance, we could ask, how does the family constrain as well as provide opportunities to men and women? Okay, or how do political or legal institutions affect the privileged or the dispossessed, deprived, or people who are not fortunate enough to have it? How? There are many different roles which they play in the society. Let's take an example of family, marriage, and kinship. Okay, this is already given in your book. So make sure that you read the activity of the book in the NCRT, which is given in the boxes, because those box activities are very important. And whatever comes in the box or the graphs, do not miss it, because sometimes they even ask you a random question, which probably can have certain definitions from the box or maybe some examples. All right. Hi Shivam, very good evening. How are you, beta? How are you, Shivam? That's great. Today you're late. What happened? How are the exams going? Have you started with the exams? मैं ठीक हूँ. आज मैं थोड़ी सी डल हूँ बट मैं ठीक हूँ. Alright, so we move ahead. Family, kinship, and marriage. Now, these are three different things which we are going to study. मैम क्या आप जानते हो uh, कि निकी मैम कब लेगी क्लास? ममता, थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग. बेटा निकी मैम का नेक्स्ट क्लास उनकी प्रोफाइल पे दिख जाएगा बेटा. आप अन अकेडमी में उनका जो प्रोफाइल है उस पर एक बार क्लिक कर लीजिए. ठीक है, सो आपको उस पर दिख जाएगा कि उनका नेक्स्ट क्लास कब है, तो आपको ईजी हो जाएगा ढूंढने में. एंड यूट्यूब में यूट्यूब का जो भी क्लास उनका होगा वो अनअकैडमी ह्यूमैनिटीज़ चैनल पे एक बार आप सब्सक्राइब करके रखिए. तो आपको एक अलर्ट आ जाएगा ममता, वेन एवर निकी मैम्स क्लासेस देयर. फिर आप उसको रिमाइंडर अलर्ट में डाल के रख सकते हो. वेलकम बेटा. Yes, ma'am, exams are going great. That's so good to know, Shivam. Lovely. Best of luck. Do well in all the exams. Very good. Okay, so let me speak about family, marriage, and kinship. Now, family, of course, perhaps no other social entity appears more natural than the family because that is your immediate, first immediate thing which you stay or which you live or you have people around you. Okay, so yes, no other social entity appears more natural than the family. Now, often we are prone to assume that families are like the ones we live, and no other institution appears more universal and unchanging. Now, we have a family, so it is not necessary that my family will be the same like Shivam's family, or maybe not Mamta's family would be the same like Aditi's family, so they can have different views, they can be different way of living, way of eating, way of following the culture, etc. Sociology and social anthropology have, over many other decades, okay, conducted the field research across cultures to show how the institutions of family, marriage, and kinship are important in all societies, and yet their character is different in different societies. One thing. Okay, they have also shown that how the family, the private sphere, is linked with economic, social, political, and all of this because see, these are basically the public spheres. Okay, now these are different. Like, definitely, institutions of family is a what do you call a private sphere or a realm, which we use the word realm in terms of sociology. Now we can also say that on the other hand, college, school, institutions, everything, etc., politics, culture. These things can be a public sphere. Why? Because they are not framed or limited to your personal, what do you call, closeness or nits. Okay, this may remind you that why there is a need to share and borrow of different disciplines, which we have discussed in chapter 1. Now, what were the different disciplines? I hope you remember: sociology with economics, sociology and history, sociology and pol science, sociology and psychology, sociology and anthropology. And I'm hoping that you remember why this is important. Okay, when we speak about borrow from different disciplines, matlab all of them. Okay, and I'm hoping कि तुम्हें याद है कि भाई first chapter से लेके current chapter तक के everything is very interconnected, so you cannot forget and you have to remember every single thing properly, one by one, aligned. Okay. Now, according to the functionalist, the family performs important tasks which contribute to a society's basic needs and perpetuate a social order. Family definitely plays an important role. Yeah. Now, functionalist perspective also argues that modern individual societies function best if women look after the family and men earn the family livelihood. Okay. So this is, look at this. Now, this is a functionalist perspective. And I remember I've told you again and again that there is a minor difference between the functionalist and the conflicts view and perspective. So make sure that you know this. In functionalist perspective, they argue that modern industrial societies function best if women look after the family and men earn the family livelihood. Okay. Now, in India, studies, however, suggest that families need not become nuclear in an industrial pattern of the economy. So, this is one thing. They do not have to become nuclear in the pattern of economy. Okay. This is but one example to show how trends based on experiences of one society cannot necessarily be generalized. Of course, you cannot make a statement, okay, just because one community or just because one society believes this, so it cannot show that the entire trend on the basis of experience of one single thing, it cannot become, or it cannot be generalized. Like I say that, okay, I like black, so you all also have to like black. Okay, if the teacher is liking black, the students also need to have like. It is not like that. It cannot be generalized in that way. Okay, this is one thing. Nuclear family is basically seen as a unit which is best equipped and to handle the demands of industrial society by the functionalist. Why? Because in such families, one adult can work outside the house while the other adults can, look after the home and the children. Okay, so it is more practical that, okay, I am looking after the kids, you work. You today work here, I'll be going out. It is more of a practical give and take which is happening here. So, in practical terms, this specialization of roles within the nuclear family involves the husband adopting the instrumental role as the breadwinner and the wife assuming the effective emotional role in domestic settings, which is being told by Giddens. Now, this is a mindset. This is a mindset today that no, only the man will be the breadwinner and the women will look after the child. But things have changed, times have changed. It's not the same like we used to think about earlier. Okay, is anything do you have any doubts still here, guys? Any doubts still here, you can ask me. So we move ahead. Any doubts you have till this slide, guys? Okay, all right, if it's clear, so let's move to the next one. Now, when we speak about family, not all the families are the same. We already discussed. Mamta has a different family. I have a different family. Aditi has a different family. We all have different families. Now, this vision is questionable not just because it is gender unjust. Okay, the previous one, like why the men and women role we are speaking here. Okay, this vision is not is questionable not just because it is a gender unjust, but because empirical studies across the cultures and history show that it is untrue. Indeed, as you will see in the discussion on work and economy, how in contemporary industries like the garment export, women from a large part of the labor force, okay, they are very good with it. They are apparently very good with this skill, and that is the reason most of them are a part of this industry. Similarly, like we say that most of the labors or most of the industrial work outside in the factories are done by the men. It's a similar thing. Okay, such a separation also suggests that men are necessarily the heads of the households. So it is a matter of realization that we all know that yes, it is a that only dads will be taking care of the house, whereas mama has to take care of the kitchen. I'm not saying everybody has the same thought, but this is what our society has bound us to believe and to follow. Of course, times are changing. The women are equally that liberated the way men's are. So yes, definitely there have been times which have changed for good. So don't think that okay, ma'am, why are they making a generalized statement? It is not like this now. I also work. My mother also works. Why everything? There are different uh, you know myths and studies. sometimes which is true, sometimes which is not. Speaking about the variation in family forms, okay, there can be female headed households also, where the women takes care of the entire house, whereas the man looks after the change of the kids, okay, or look after the upbringing of the family, and the women looks after the financial and the economic background, okay. Another thing, families are linked to other social spheres and families change, okay. They are linked with other social spheres and the families do change. Sometimes you can have what we call is the term influence, okay, because of what you try and intend to look at someone else, behave like them and adapt what they are doing. Families can change. Now, a central debate in India has been about the shift from the nuclear family to the joint families. Now, what is the shift we are talking about here? We have already seen how sociology questions the common sense impressions. Okay, sociology is not everything related to common sense, it is more beyond it. Okay, so the entire thought process which we are discussing here is not limited to common sense. Okay, the fact is that nuclear families have always existed in India, particularly among the deprived castes and classes. Okay, the fact is that nuclear families have always existed in India, particularly among the deprived class and classes. Now, what comes to your mind when you listen to this term? Anybody who would like to give the answer? Anyone? No one? Okay, no worries. So, uh, deprived classes and caste, we have read about the previous chapters also, that mostly we call the SCs, STs, and the Dalits as the deprived classes and castes. Okay, why we have done this? Because of the social stratification, which I absolutely feel is, according to me, something which should be completely removed. Because according to me, I think everybody is same and everyone is a human being after all. So I do not personally accept the fact of Brahmins, SCs, STs, Shastriyas, Kayast, etc. Okay, so that is the reason when we speak about these kind of nuclear families nowadays, people are getting married in intercaste relationship. Okay, people get married to people from the same caste, sometimes outside. Okay, so the concept of exogamy, endogamy, monogamy, which we are going to study in the further slides in the further chapters, I'll tell you how. Okay, but yeah, the fact is that nuclear families have existed in India, particularly among the deprived caste and classes in a more ratio. And who? The sociologist A.M. Shah remarks that in the post independent India, joint family has steadily increased. Post independent India. Okay, I'm not talking about the current time, it is post independent India. Joint families have increased. Why? The contributing factor is that increasing life expectancy in India, according to him. It has increased from 32.5 50.4, okay, years of men and from 31 to 55 years of women during the period of 1941. See, it is mentioned here, okay, 1941 to 50, and from 1981 to 85. Consequently, the proportion of aged people, that is 60 years and above, people who are on the senior age group, okay, in the total population, which is increased. So this is probably the entire chart has just gone up. It has increased. And when I say increased, why it has happened? Of course, because it is the post-independent period where many things have changed. Industrialization came into picture. Different social institutions had different norms and values, and adding subtractions to the culture, etc. Now, this again is a broad generalization, but in the spirit of the sociological perspective, it cautions us against blindly believing a common sense impression, okay, that the joint family is fast eroding and alert us to the need for the careful, comparative, empirical studies. Now, can someone tell me what exactly is this showing, or what exactly have we studied about this or learnt about it? Till the time I see if there are any questions. Hi Nitya, very good evening, beta. How are you? So Nitya will be like, ma'am, kya ho gaya? How was the exam, Nitya? Okay, Anvesha. How was the exam, Nitya? Nothing, I'm not well, yeah. I hope I take rest and I'm okay till the evening class. I hope so. अभी तक तो all good. Just a crazy dull day. That I know. I'm just yeah. Sorry. I'm asking how is the preparation going on. Economics कैसा गया वैसे? Not yet. Nitya, not yet. Not yet. पर भगवान की कृपा रही तो वो भी हो जाएगा. पता नहीं. I think I need good sleep. All right. Very good. Chalo. Okay. Let me quickly move to a patriarchal family structure that exists of when the men exercise the authority and dominance. Okay, like they are at the superiority. What do you call scale up here? Okay, and they play a major role in taking the maximum majority of decisions. Whereas in the matrilineal society, the same cannot be claimed about the matriarchal societies. Now, what difference we have seen? By take care, beta. Yes, Nitya, I will. I need it and I will. Don't worry. Take care of yourself. Study well. I'm going to see you in the class evening. Mein. Chalo, bye. Okay. Um Families are linked to social spheres, and there are definitely families which keep changing. As I told you in the previous slides, also that social influence, which we keep on speaking, I think men are open to changes, men and women both. As a society, we can change any times, and it goes around and comes back also. Okay, so patrilocal and patrilineal, basically here the terms which you can see, of course, is a father, and matrilineal is basically the mother's end. Okay, these are the two differences which we have discussed in the previous slides also. Further, what is and how is the matter of arranging marriages, and what are the rules and the perceptions? Okay, uh, family, kinship, and marriage. So marriage is again playing an important role here. Now, families, I told you that it is linked with each other. Okay, not this slide, sorry. Family and kinship are thus subject to change, and how the transformation is due to macroeconomic process, but the direction of change need not be similar for all the countries and the regions. Why? Because probably the food habit which we have in India will not be the same in Africa, right? Similarly, the economic process, which has a direction of change in terms of different aspects. Okay. Moreover, the change does not mean the complete erosion of the previous norms or structure. It can be just a simple modification also. All right. Okay. It can be a simple modification. It can be a simple, what do you call as alteration. But change and continuity coexist. It will keep on happening. It's like, what were you the same what you were in 2000, probably 18, and are you the same what you are in 2020? You can see a major or a minor difference any which ways. Similarly, change and continuity keeps on happening and it coexists. It's like interwoven. It is together. All right. Now, how gendered is the family? How will you decide how gendered? See, the belief is that the male child will support the parents and the old age, and female probably will leave after marriage, and which results in families investing more in male child. Okay, this is a typical complex, or what do you call? I do not even have the term to define how it feels when you listen to this aspect, but this is how it is. People think that. Um, yeah. It is not that something we say that is a sensible fact, but people believe that the belief is that the males will look after the parents in their old age, but the women will the girl child will get married and will go to her house and will not look after her parents. Okay, so despite the biological fact that a female baby has better chances of survival than a male baby, the rate of infant mortality among female children is higher in comparison to the male children in the lower age group in India. Okay, uh, this is a very important fact. And when I say this is a very important fact, you have to understand that how, despite the biological fact that female baby has better chances of survival, still people prefer the male childs because there is a comparison that it is about the genders, okay, in the families. Okay, we have noticed, we have seen, we have witnessed changes, but yes, this remains the typical myth which we are following. What are the different forms of marriage? What are the different institutions of marriage? Okay, institution of marriage, of course, as I told you, that it leads to forms. Forms are different types of features and characteristics involved. And what are they? Institution of marriage, historically, marriage has been found to exist in a wide variety forms of different societies. Okay, everybody gets married, sometimes they don't. Different people have different customs, they have different functions in different societies. This is one angle. Indeed, the manner in which marriage partners are arranged reveals an astonishing variety of modes of marriage. Now, what are they? It has large variety of forms. It can be number of partners and rules governing who can marry whom. Okay, you can probably have one partner. You can probably have two partners. You can probably get married to three people, four people. Now, these all are basically forms of marriage. Okay, in terms of the number of partners that can legitimately enter into the matrimony, we have two forms of marriage, that is, namely monogamy and polygamy. Okay, like I told you, we have monogamy and polygamy. Now, what exactly is monogamy and polygamy? We would be studying in depth now. Monogamy basically restricts the individual to marry one spouse at a time. Only you can have one partner, spouse as in your partner, life partner, your husband, wife, etc. All right. Okay. Under this system, at any given time, a man can only have one wife. So basically, you can only have one wife, and the women can only have one husband. Of course, it is a one to one. So monogamy is mostly that, mainly that a man can only have one wife, and a wife can only have one man. Okay, and a husband. Now, even where polygamy is permitted, in actual practice, monogamy is morely widely prevalent. Okay, in many societies, individuals are permitted to marry again. When I say to marry again, it can be different cultures, different caste. Okay, there are people who have debated very highly, and it is completely different. So of course, this is one angle to it. But um, yes, in many society, they are permitted to marry again. So I was just checking for the questions. Okay, guys, please remember, because this video is completely there on YouTube. If you have still any questions, you can anytime come and attend the special classes. And if you wish to take the subscription, Urmi Live is my code, referral code. You can take this and get avail a 10% discount on the same. And if you are yet to avail on any plus platforms or courses for the subscription, you can have a look at the special classes which we have taken. And we would be following to take the entire revision serial monogamy. Okay, serial monogamy. Remarriages on the death of a wife have been a norm for men for the most part. But as you all are aware that the right of the upper caste Hindu widows was denied, and that the campaign for the widow remarriage was a major issue in the 19th century reform movements. Okay, this is one thing. What you are probably less aware is that today in the modern India, nearly 10% of all women and 55% of women over 50 years are widows. It can be any reason. It can be probably due to health hazards, due to, divorces are due to many other reasons also. So this is the reason, and this is the case, that maximum 55%, okay, of the women over 50 years are widows in our society. Polygamy, on the other hand, basically denotes marriage to more than one mate at one time. Okay, and it takes the form of either. When I say it takes the form of either, polygamy is mostly about one husband with two or more wives. Okay, so it can be, or also you can call it a polyandry with one wife and two or more husbands. So please remember that polygamy and polyandry. So I have seen, I have already highlighted these two. One is in white color, the other one is in yellow color. So make sure that you have you differentiate it and don't get confused here. Usually where economic conditions are harsh, polyandry may be one response to the society, since in such situations a single male cannot adequately support a wife and children. Also, extreme poverty conditions and pressurize a group for its limit its population. Now we are discussing here that probably at extreme poverty, sometimes when it is absolutely not tolerable, or you cannot do anything about it, in those situations it pressurizes a group to limit its population. That time they do not want uh, more of it. Okay, when I say more of it, of course they have their different reasons behind it. This is one of them. Matter of arranging marriages. See, there are different rules and prescriptions in some societies. The decision regarding mate selection are made by parents, relatives in some or the other societies, and individuals are relatively free to choose their own mates. Okay, that mate here means life partners. So they are free to choose. All right. So I was just looking if there are any questions. Okay, there are no questions till now. Okay, just in case you have any questions, please feel free, guys. And as I keep telling you guys, if you don't understand any of the slides, you can ask me to repeat, and I'm all ears, and I can do that for you. Don't worry about it. Okay. Also, you can go ahead and follow me on my Unacademy profile through the learning app, and whenever there's a class, you will get an update, and you can join the class anytime you're available. Okay. Right. So, like I told you, in many in different societies, individuals are relatively free to choose. Okay. In that case, hi Rishabh. Good evening. In that case, these are basically also called as love marriages. In that, you're free to choose your life partners and mates with whom you want to spend your entire life with. Culture like society. Okay. Now, this basically is a term which is frequently and sometimes vaguely, I think this is the next chapter which we have to begin. Okay. But before beginning the chapter of culture and society, okay, in which we are going to discuss about natural settings which affect the culture, etc. Let me quickly wrap up with yeah. So this entire unit of understanding social institution is completed. If you have still not seen the entire class, go back, go to the learning app of Unacademy, check out the special classes. I have definitely taken one of them, and if you would like to come and join the plus classes, I would once again welcome you to take a subscription. You can use my referral code, and also let me tell you, in my plus platform, I'm going to give you all the notes like this, which is from the NCRT, which is going to definitely help you to score great marks, and I'm hoping that it will be for your benefit. So you can definitely use the code of Urmi Life for a 10% discount. And yeah, so that's all from my end today, my dear friends. And before ending the entire slide, let me ask you if you have any questions for me. As you can see that we have many slides which are left. Okay. Uh, so we would be doing it in the next classes, and I will make sure that all your queries and doubts are cleared. But once again, do you have any questions or any doubts? Please go ahead and ask me. I'm here. So thank you so much for being a fabulous class like always.